How to Train Your Dragon is the latest live-action remake of an animated classic. Now, I've said before that I think these remakes are usually hit and miss, mostly miss, but I'm happy to report that How to Train Your Dragon is a hit. I really enjoyed this movie, and this is probably my favorite live-action remake to date. This is the first one that didn't just feel like a cheap, soulless imitation of the previous animated version. Now, this movie is written and directed by Dean DeBlois, who also wrote and directed the original animated trilogy for How to Train Your Dragon. Now, I might be wrong, but I think this is the first time that we've ever had a director of the original animated feature come back and direct a live action. And I feel like it really makes a difference in how this movie comes across. When you watch this movie, it just feels like it's being made by someone who really understands the story, these characters, and just really knows how to bring the IP to life. One thing about the movie that I was somewhat concerned about going into it was whether or not they were going to be able to capture the character of Hiccup. To me, Jay Baruchel's voice as Hiccup in the animated movies, they're just so intrinsically tied to that character. I was really unsure if they would be able to kind of capture that same character in live action with a new actor coming in to play Hiccup. Those fears for me went away within the first few minutes of the movie. I think Mason Thames did a really great job of bringing Hiccup to life and still having that same energy without trying to do like an imitation of Jay Baruchel's voice acting. Honestly, in addition to Mason, I think just all the actors, period, were really well cast. I think they all did a great job of kind of bringing these characters to life, still making the characters their own while still encapsulating that energy that we kind of expect from the animated films. I also really love the fact that they got Gerard Butler to come back and play Stoic in live action. He obviously did the voice in the animated movies, and I just thought that was a really nice touch. Yes, they could have got someone else to play Stoic. They didn't have to bring back Gerard Butler. But the fact that they did, it just really tied the movie together. I think it added a kind of level of legitimacy by bringing him back. And his voice is just so iconic as that character. Now that I've seen it, I can't really imagine anyone else playing that role but him. I think visually this movie looks great. The CG for the dragons is great. I think this movie was as engaging and as heartfelt as the animated feature was originally. That first flight scene in the live action gave me goosebumps. Now, this movie is a direct copy and paste of the animated feature into live action. Plot by plot point, beat by beat, this is exactly the same movie but in live action. Now, I can see some people having an issue with that, but for me, it works. I have no issues. Usually when I come out of the theater of these remakes, at best, I think that was fine. But this is the first time that I actually left the theaters kind of pumped up. I really liked this movie and what they did, and I genuinely hope that they adapt the next two films in the trilogy. But those are just my thoughts. I thought this movie was great. I loved it. I'm curious to hear what you guys thought. Did you get a chance to see the new How to Train Your Dragon? If so, hop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought. And with that said, guys, I'm out of here.